What's up, Raider Nation? Trayvon Mullen is having surgery, and this just happened unexpectedly through Instagram. You didn't hear any word about this surgery happening before, but here he is on Instagram posting this story. Everything happens for a reason. Praying for a successful surgery. I will be back better than ever. That's a promise. That's Trayvon Mullen, and I hope he is back better than ever because when he's on the field, he's been very impressive. Look, he's one of our few DBs that's picked off Patrick Mahomes. When you pick off Patrick Mahomes, that's a plus in my book, right? I'm always going to be stoked about that. But I'm curious, though, what is the surgery? We know, according to Vincent Bosnior of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, that, Trayvon Mullen had a foot injury last year. He didn't play most of last year, almost the whole entire season. However, he was productive in 2020 and 2019 when he took over for Garyon Conley. So it's a curious situation. He posted this just recently. We don't know what type of surgery it is, but you see in that image earlier, there's his foot there in this image, so we can assume it has to do with the toe and the foot. And I have to say, this is tough because I am a fan of Trayvon Mullen. I was expecting big things from him. We have a new defensive coaching staff, but I thought he would be one of the guys that we retain, somebody who is still productive that you want to keep from the 2019 draft class. Trayvon Mullen was a second-round pick in that 2019 draft class. I'm not saying we're moving on from Trayvon Mullen, but if that was the case, and thinking about this in light of us declining all three of the first-round picks, fifth-year options, it could really be the first four players that we took in the 2019 draft next year could easily all not be on the roster, which is really crazy to think about. Even prior to finding out this surgery news, Trayvon Mullen still had a really tough road ahead of him to really compete and get a starting role in this cornerback room. Look, we got Rock Ya-Sin, who we acquired through the Unique Ngakoue trade, and we also have Anthony Averett, who's making almost $4 million this year. Let me remind you that 75% of that almost $4 million there by Anthony Averett is fully guaranteed, so I do expect him to see the field for sure. We also have Nate Hobbs, who is probably still going to start at slot. I know he played slot primarily in Gus Bradley's scheme, but I still expect him to excel with Patrick Graham. So now that Trayvon Mullen is dealing with the surgery, he could possibly be out the whole entire year. I mean, he has 1 year left on his deal. He could be on IR because if I was going to gamble that he'd be ready for week 1, 4 months from now after having surgery on your foot, I would say that's a tough stretch. He might even be out most of the year again. So could he be an IR candidate this year? That totally changes our cornerback room and our cornerback depth chart. You could really see Rock Ya-Sin and Anthony Averett on the outside with Nate Hobbs competing in the slot. But this is also a little tough for me because that means that we really don't have depth in this position. Darius Phillips could be some serious depth on the outside for us, while Cre'Von LeBlanc and Amik Robertson could be some slot depth. I really don't want to see Amik Robertson take snaps on the outside because what's happened historically. Unfortunately, he hasn't performed well when playing on the outside, even in preseason, to be quite honest. So prior to finding out this news, I thought the Raiders might need to pursue a safety, somebody to seriously take over for Jonathan Abram if Derwin Harmon's not up to the task. But now it seems like we need another cornerback. We need another outside cornerback to compete in this room if Trayvon Mullen is not going to be available. But this also means that Rock Ya-Sin and Anthony Averett are for sure the top two cornerbacks on our roster. Unless, of course, Nate Hobbs switches to outside, which is a possibility, but I would find it to be a stretch. But say Nate Hobbs can compete outside, maybe beat out Anthony Averett or Rock Ya-Sin, and then you see someone like Cre'Von LeBlanc start at slot. That would be some interesting stuff. However, expect the Raiders to pursue a cornerback. There were tons of Stephon Gilmore rumors earlier in the offseason, but it turns out that most of that was all smoke and false. We were never really interested in Stephon Gilmore, so maybe the coaching staff themselves did not know about this pending Mullen injury. I find that hard to believe because these coaching staffs and these franchises are intense and have private investigators and can figure out everything, but perhaps they didn't know because you would think that they would go and get some insurance policy for Trayvon Mullen, and I don't think just grabbing Rock Ya-Sin and Anthony Averett is enough when you already have an incomplete cornerback room after losing Casey Hayward. Either way, I hope Trayvon Mullen has a speedy recovery. He's done a lot for this organization. Go out there and send him your love, and also like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel for more Raiders news. This is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. Peace out and have a good one.